Hello all, welcome back. If you have ever learned physics or mathematics in your high school classes, you might have definitely seen these formulas. Sine theta is approximately equal to theta, or tan theta is approximately equal to theta, or cosine of theta is approximately equal to 1 for small theta. Have you ever thought how to make sense of these approximations or how to visualize these? For example, we have sine theta is equal to theta for small theta. How do we see that? Of course, there are multiple ways of doing so. First one being Taylor series. As you might know, sin x has a Taylor series expansion like x minus x cubed divided by 3 factorial plus x to the 5 divided by 5 factorial minus higher order terms. Say x is a small number like 0.1. What is sine 0.1 according to the Taylor series? Which is 0.1 minus 0.1 cube divided by 3 factorial plus higher order terms, which is approximately equal to 0.1 minus 0.1 cube, which is 0.001 divided by 27, which is going to be an even smaller number compared to 0.1, which is the first term. So we neglect it with respect to the magnitude of 0.1. So we get sine of 0.1 is approximately equal to 0.1. This is the kind of idea that we get from Taylor series. There is a beautiful way of visualizing the idea of Taylor series, but we'll do that in another video. Let me proceed with two simple methods where you can actually visualize these approximations. So the second one being using a triangle. The third one using a unit circle. We have here a right angle triangle with this angle being theta. This is the opposite side A. This is the adjacent side B. And this is the hypotenuse C. What is sine theta from this triangle? Sine theta is equal to opposite side A divided by C. And cos theta is adjacent side B divided by hypotenuse C. And tan theta is A divided by B. But this angle theta is not really small, right? So let me draw a triangle with a smaller angle. This is the angle theta. And this is again the opposite side A, adjacent side B, and hypotenuse C. Now let me do something. Let me draw a very big circle about this point C. So the radius of the circle is C. As you can see here, when the angle theta is very small, the opposite side A can be easily approximated as the arc of this big circle over here with radius C. If you consider this big circle over here, the angle theta can be written as arc length divided by radius. That is the very definition of angle. Now, what is this arc length over here? It is not exactly equal to, but it can be approximated as A in the right angle triangle divided by the radius C. But as you see here, when this angle theta is very small, both C and B can be considered to be the radii of the circle. So I can very well write this is also approximately equal to A divided by another radius, which is B. This works only if the angle theta is very small. To write this equation, we consider this triangle to be a sector of this very big circle. Now let us consider it as a right angle triangle. What is sine theta in this right angle triangle? It is A divided by C. What is tan theta? It is A divided by B. And cos theta is B divided by C. These are the exact relations that we get from this right angle triangle. Now if you look at it, sine theta, which is A divided by C, is approximately equal to theta. Similarly, tan theta, which is A divided by B, is approximately equal to theta. So now we see why sine theta is approximately equal to theta is approximately equal to tan theta for small angles theta. Now if we look at cos theta, it is B divided by C. So if you consider this big circle over here, both B and C are approximately the radii of the circle. So B has to be approximately equal to C and their ratio has to be equal to 1. In this way, we get cos theta is approximately equal to 1 for small theta. Let us also see why these approximations don't work when your angle theta is not really small. If you consider this triangle here with a not so small angle theta, if we try to draw a circle with radius C around this point like this, now we can never approximate this opposite side A with an arc of the circle which can subtend an angle theta. As you see, this approximation can work only if your angle theta is very small. If your angle theta is not small, this side can never be approximated with this arc. And here in this case, I can never draw such a circle whose arc can approximate this opposite side, which is why these approximations work only if the angle we have here is small enough. This is the third way of visualizing these approximations. What we have here is a unit circle with radius 1. And since we are talking about small angle approximations, we need to draw a small angle theta. Let theta be that angle. And I know that the coordinates of this point, x and y, are given by cosine of theta and sine of theta. It is because, as we saw in the last video, cosine and sine are the coordinates of a unit circle defined by this equation x squared plus y squared is equal to 1, and this is precisely that unit circle. Now let me drop a perpendicular from this point to the x-axis, and this distance here is my x coordinate, and the length of this perpendicular is the y coordinate, and this is the radius, which is 1 unit. Again, if you consider theta in the circle, it is given by arc divided by radius. Now this arc length, which subtends an angle theta, can be approximated by the y coordinate when this angle theta is very small, and the arc length can be approximated as the y coordinate divided by the radius, which is 1 units. But since the y coordinate is given by sine of this angle theta, we get sine theta is approximately equal to theta. This point over here is given by 1, 0 because it's a unit circle, and the x coordinate is almost equal to 1 when theta is very small. As theta moves along the circle away from 0, the x coordinate moves away from 1. And as theta approaches 0, the x coordinate, which is the cosine of this angle, approaches 1. So when theta is very small or very close to 0, cos theta or the x coordinate is very close to 1, which is why we have the approximation cos theta is equal to 1 when theta is very small. Likewise, tan theta is equal to theta approximation can also be readily seen from this figure. We all have done experiments to determine the time period of a pendulum, rather a simple pendulum. If we write down the Newton's equation of motion for a pendulum, what we get is m, the mass of this point object, L, the length of the pendulum, times d square theta over dt square is equal to mass times the restoring acceleration, which is g sine theta. Simplifying, we get d square theta over dt squared plus g over L times sine theta is equal to 0. So what we have here is the equation of motion for a pendulum, not for a simple pendulum. When does this pendulum become a simple pendulum? It becomes a simple pendulum when we can use the approximation sine theta is equal to theta, or when the angle of oscillations of this pendulum is small enough. Under this approximation, we rewrite this as d square theta over dt square plus g over L times theta is equal to 0. This is the differential equation for a simple harmonic oscillator, and we identify this guy over here, g over L, as omega squared, where omega is the angular frequency given by square root of g over L. And from this, we find the time period, which is 2 pi over omega, which is 2 pi square root of L over g. Please note that 2 pi into square root of L over g is the time period of the pendulum only when we have the approximation sine theta is equal to theta. Otherwise, the time period of a pendulum for any angle theta is usually expressed using special functions called elliptic integrals. I will talk about elliptic integrals and the time period of a real pendulum in another video, but before concluding, let me ask this interesting question. How big can theta be for sine theta is equal to theta approximation to work? Have you ever thought of this question? So I know that my sine theta is approximately equal to theta is an equality only when theta is equal to 0. This approximation sign becomes an equality when theta is equal to 0. So how big can theta be? 1 degree or 2 degree or say 5 degrees? The first point I wanted to tell you is that if we have such an equation, sine theta is equal to theta, please don't think in terms of degrees. Degree is the unit of convention. Degree is a unit that we made for our convenience. The natural unit of an angle theta is always radian. It's not degrees. Radians are the kind of units given by nature. It is natural. It is not made according to our convenience. And since it is made by nature, it is beautiful in itself. Let us make a wild guess of how big theta can be. Say theta is equal to pi over 6 radians. For those who still love degrees, it's like 30 degrees. Now let us see what sine pi over 6 is, which is equal to sine of 30 degrees. This is 0.5. As we know, sine of 30 degrees is 0.5. And what is pi over 6 itself? I have seen many people writing it as 180 divided by 6 is equal to 30. This is wrong. We can never do this. Pi is not equal to 180, whatever the case be. Whether it be an angle or not, pi is always equal to 3.14, etc. So pi over 6 is not 180 over 6. It is rather approximately equal to 3.14 divided by 6, which is equal to 0.52333. Now, if we compare sine of pi over 6 and pi over 6 itself, there is no much difference, right? So even if your angle is as big as 30 degree, if you calculate the percentage error or the percentage difference between these two, which is sine of pi over 6 minus pi over 6 divided by pi over 6 into 100, you can see that this is approximately equal to 4.67. This tells you that even if the angle that you have in hand is as big as 30 degrees or pi over 6, the sine theta is equal to theta approximation still works with just an error less than 5%. So even if your angle is as big as 30 degrees, the accuracy up to which you can approximate sine 30 with 30 is more than 95%. So even if you oscillate your pendulum with 30 degrees in one side or 60 degrees together, you still can safely have this approximation with more than 95% of accuracy. And you get more or less the time period to be equal to this. So you don't have to worry about elliptic integrals at all. Even if you oscillate your pendulum 30 degrees in one side and total 60 degrees, your sine theta is equal to theta approximation. It still works okay. You can also convince yourself that if the angle that we have is 20 degrees, the percentage error that we are going to have in this approximation is around 2%, and we have an accuracy of more than 98%. So don't be afraid to oscillate your pendulum with an angle of 40 degrees. It is still fine. That was all for today. In the next few videos, we are going to learn about how to sketch functions of one variable. We'll play around with lots of transcendental and polynomial functions that we see in physics and try to plot all of them. So please stay tuned for How I Sketch Functions Part 1. Bye.